Okay, good afternoon traders. Welcome to TradeSetup and the live stream for the 18th of November. I hope we're all doing well, having a great day so far, having a bit of fun in the markets. That's what it has to be. Hope you're all enjoying yourself and you're learning something from these live streams. Now, we'll just kick it off with a bit of housekeeping. We did mention this in yesterday's stream earlier on. Just want to go through, we've put together the new website, so if you've had a chance to look at that, you can see that on my screen there. Shown through the stream, so please take a look. You've got our results there for the TradeSetup app, and you've got a free trial button there, so you can just click through, even just have a look through. We're also going to, just so you all know, we're going to add the Facebook button. So I always forget what you call them. My memory is okay. I'm only halfway through my second coffee, so not going so well so far. You've got you've got Facebook, LinkedIn, all those links will be across the top. If you can see my arrow just across the top here. So you'll be able to join in there and just like us on Facebook if you can. Give us a bit of support if you like what we're doing, what we're heading, where we're heading, and the material that we're coming through with. Yeah, just join us in on Facebook, and then also let everyone know if you can. Just get the word out there a bit, so that'd be greatly appreciated. And we've also got just a general advice warning as usual. We're just going to have each at the beginning of each stream, and disclaimer for TradeSetup. So as you know, it's just general advice. There's no specific advice to anyone's taking into account anyone's needs and objectives. It's just our opinions on the markets and what we look for and what we like to look, how we like to view our trading anyway. Now let's just get rid of that. You can have a look at that through the stream. Now this is our website here. What we're aiming at doing with obviously TradeSetup, we want to get the community going and like-minded people, and then just to view what we do and give people a bit of education for people that want to drill down more. We've got the app, the TradeSetup, and that's where we do our in-depth analysis and actual alerts. So we spit out alerts to obviously paying customers, and that will be your entry alerts. It's managed quite clearly. We will follow trades for you, so if we do enter something we quite like, we give the alert set up, and then we'll just follow it from day to day. If anything new happens, if the market kicks high and we've got an opportunity to raise risk or raise our exit and lock in some gains, then we'll just alert you to that. So it's all pretty straightforward. Obviously the results are there to show the proof of the pudding, I guess. So yeah, always take a look at that and pass the message on if you can. Now let's get into it. Just a bit of a breakdown of the markets. Just got to check whether I've got everything just up at the moment. The Aussie 200, you can see 30-minute chart. We've had that. I really was just looking at those key zones of 53, 57. Just coming into the close here, we pushed up through 53.50. Now for continuation, what I'd obviously like to see, let's just get rid of all these. This market's looking at, you can see it's really pushed down, especially on the open down at sort of that overnight close. Had a bit of a rejection of those levels, really kicked down into it, and it's been brought back up. We could roll over from here, but what we're seeing is we're holding higher lows, and the fact that we sort of washed out those highs through 53, 57, the overnight highs, is not a bad sign. We may just come back and build that high low and then go again, especially if the US continues to go on with it tonight. But that's what we're viewing. We could be heading up to, we're looking to head up towards that 53.81 zone, and that's just sort of the top end there. We'll see how it goes. Again, anything's possible. We have seen that contraction lower. We could just be build a major lower high and then roll over from there. So like we mentioned yesterday, just got to keep in the back of your mind what's happened on the daily basis for the ASX. If we can get that up just a tick. XJO. Alright, so you can see that, that's weekly. Even the weekly, have a quick look at that. If you can drill down in that, just this price action, we've had that big move up to 6,000. You can see that resistance really held 1, 2, 3, close to 4 touches on that zone. That lower high just in there before we break through a key level, our anchor level to the uptrend, what we spoke about yesterday. Broke through that, and then we built that major lower high just in here, and we just corrected lower. And then this move up here, obviously clearly upwards. We've got those higher lows, and the anchor is at 50-50, so it's key. We did touch down that through the election. The screen is very blurry. Philip, it'll be on the YouTube side. There's a little spinning wheel. If you take a quick look at that, you'll be able to left click on that and go to 720. If you can see here, you see mine, just click it there, quality, click on 720, and that should fix it up. Let us know if it doesn't anyway. and I don't think you saw that. Anyway, so you'll see it just at the bottom of your YouTube on the right, the bottom right hand corner. Okay, so we've got the yeah, key level here. It's the anchor really to this uptrend. So that leg up to 5600 was, it originated from 5050. We have worked our way back into there. So until that breaks, this trend is still holding. Really could just be a major high low, and we can build an inside high low around 52, 52.50 if we do roll over from here on the daily basis. Let's just get that up. If we do roll over, we could just build that high low and then project us, take us back up through 53, say 53.50, 5400, and on we go through 55, through 56, and so on, and just continue that trend higher. We'll have to see how all that plays out, but just keep that in the back of your head, or in the back of your mind, not at the back of your head, but in the back of your mind of just what this market could be doing. One thing, if we can see it, just what I've just noticed the other day, or probably yesterday, just see this latest price action here. You can see a bit of rejection in there. Is that not quite? All right, let me just sorry guys, just quickly fixing something there. There we are. That should be a bit better. So what we can see, you can see these rejection. We've had that little minor push down, that candle, more of an inside candle, and then a push down through 5300, which rejected quite strongly yesterday, and then we've just sort of taken out, we're attacking that 53.75. So if that gets through there, we could actually just be, that's could be your minor high low we're looking for, and that's quite a strong market really after that massive rejection of 50.50 and that kick higher. So it'll be interesting to see how we go the next few days anyway. So that's the ASX. We won't go over the Aussie dollar. If anyone has a currency or anything like that they want to have a quick look at, just let us know, just for something different. Well, we always take a bit of a look at the Aussie in the morning. That's still heading south, still heading down. The US was stronger overnight, and the US dollar was stronger overnight. It's continuing the trend for the last few days, so I expect that not to change significantly. We'll see how that plays out. Anyway, let's kick it off. What we're going to focus on today, and we'll get our little picture up. It takes me a while to figure out these. Is stocks on the radar for today. All right, so we want to keep this quite short and sweet, I guess. We want to just focus on what we're looking at and some stocks that we sort of view as having good potential, and why. I mean, there shouldn't be too many people that can't view these stocks and just straight off the bat, up, down, or sideways, be able to view it and just have a bit of a look. I think they should be fairly clear. If you're going to trade something, you should be able to look at it, not try to second guess where it's going to pull up, but have a clear understanding of what the latest or the most significant price action is. And I think that really, if you can just go through, that's how I guess we do it. We actually go through, for instance, some stocks, just flicking through and just looking at things like that. So okay, we've got that sideways. More than anything, we need a bit more action to play out before we get involved in that. That's the same one, RMS. We were involved in that. That looked like it was going to rally up, but it didn't. That's still contraction there. We've had that contraction lower, consolidated in here, going sideways, and we're looking for it to pop up. Okay, so we've got a bit of work to do there before we're interested. Maybe a higher low, just building here after a bit of a kick up. Maybe retest 50, build a high low, and then go. But we should be able to see that clearly. Let's just go through some others down. I don't think we need to argue about that one. Yeah, you can see that type of price action. So what we ideally want to be doing is just be able to clearly just flick through some stocks, and then if something takes your interest, something's starting to look good, we can see some higher lows build, whether it's on a weekly or even a daily basis, and then all right, maybe it's on its way up. We know that the longer term, the weekly's going up. It's quite clear. The daily we're looking at is contracting a bit, so we know it's sort of coming into that zone where we want to do it, and then basically from there, just trying to tick off a few boxes, and then really just waiting for a setup. So if you can get a list of those as things you're looking at, it's always ideal. All right. So that's pretty much how we go through. We go through a list of stocks and just filter it through that way. It should be a quick and easy process. Shouldn't take too long. And then once you've got your list to keep an eye on, we just obviously on the left hand side we just go through and we add them to a watch list. Just things that we've been trading, things that are still going, still got potential, and they slowly, every once a week, just go through and clean that up. All right, so if we can, this the idea of the talk today is just be able to go through the couple that we have got our eye on, that we are currently looking at. All right, so just having a quick look here. Yeah, and we should all be able to see that type of price action after the chat yesterday. If you didn't view the stream yesterday, if you can, just go back and have a quick look at it and how we structure a market and what we're looking for off support resistance, and then we'll just kick it off from there. All right, let's go into the stocks now. Let me get up my NinjaTrader. Now, if anyone doesn't know, this is good little charting package if you haven't taken a look at it. Very handy. Let me just get some stocks. So MLX, that's all right. Let's actually kick it off with this one. MLX stock code. Now, we do like this one. We can see that the market has projected up. We can see the sort of basing pattern through here. It's contracted lower. It's holding. So we can quite clearly see it's got a zone through there. We held the higher low just through here. If we can stay in draw mode. So we held a higher low through here. All right. We took out these, traded through that. So you can see that price action really nice. You're contracting through, making some lows, taking out the lows, not significantly. Buyers started to step in. Sellers were starting to wash out. Taking out these sell levels through here. Looks really nice. Pushed up, hit resistance, pulled back, built the high low. Great little price structure, and then we've had that leg up quite strong. All right, at the moment now we're just in contraction. We can see that just taking out the highs through here. That's what we like. It's pulled back, so now we want to see a high low building here. All right, whether we just see this type of price action coming through and then popping up from there, but definitely that type of base through there, if we can see, looks quite nice. So that's also stochastics are getting, heading into oversold territory. The probability of it moving down, the price is actually holding up above this lower low just through at 125. All looking good at the moment. So we has a bit of work to do, but that's definitely one that's on our radar. MLX, if you can keep an eye on that one, and the price structure's there. So again, we should be able to look at that one, see what's happening. Okay, we've got a kick up, always consolidate after a nice push higher, build some high lows, another kick up. We want to see the same type of process happening, maybe not at as big a scale, but yeah, that base building, high lows build, sellers running out of steam, buyers happy to step in at higher prices, and then just start breaking some minor lower highs, and then away we go. All right, so that's one that's on our list. I'm just going to tick these off as I go. Obviously, WBC. There's another one. I'm just going to get the code. Sorry, bear with me, guys. A lot of scrolling down here. Alright, there we go. So I know we've discussed this probably just in the last couple of streams, but remembering this, the longer term structures has been heading higher, and this here is really just a longer term contraction on the weekly basis. So this is a daily price action. All right, and what we're seeing obviously is pretty much the same. We've a big zone through here. It's a fairly significant zone, a dollar, pretty much 28 to 29. You see that lower high builds in here, trend is down, and it's the problem with this one. It's a bit hard to. That's sort of what I like to do anyway, but it's a bit harder to follow through with that type of analysis. But anyway, we can do that. Push down through the lows, if you can see that through there. I'm just seeing if it comes up. Yep, okay. Tested the lows, recent lows, pushed up, made a lower high in context of the previous move. Yeah, it's a good strong move down, and then we've had another move down, touched down once through here, bounced back up, consolidated back up, contracted back up, made that another lower high, pushed back into the zone, took out the previous lows, and you can see that's happening again. Sellers are still strong at the moment, pushing into that zone, but buyers are happy to step in around 28 to 29. Okay, so we can see evidence of that. Buyers stepping in, sellers haven't finished just yet. Buyers have stepped in again, had another go at taking out those lows, got held up. You can see that minor higher low build, same as previously. High low build, and we projected up, took out some of these inside highs, but still holding the trend at the moment. Built another lower high, but the whole time this market is contracting. Okay, that price is holding at 28 to 29, price is moving down, building lower highs, and then once we start seeing this type of price action through here, Sorry, let me just delete a couple of things. It's getting a bit messy at the moment. Once we can see this price action through here, I like that. Alright, I'm not sure if you all like that as well, but that's one of the reasons why we're interested in this one. Obviously, it's still got a bit of work to do. We'd still expect it to, it might find a bit of resistance up there. It may just range trade between those two sort of levels, or even through here. But still, for this type of price structure, there could be a bit of fat in that trade. If we can get a bit of a pullback, build another high low, and then go, that's what we're looking for. So WBC, another one on our radar. Any questions on that, guys, just before we continue on? So we're just going to whip through these. There's not a lot of them. We're trying to keep this a bit short and a bit sweet. And then we'll go in later on with a few questions just about particular stocks that people are looking at. So get ready in about 10 or 15 minutes. Get ready to chuck in some stocks into chat. And you can also email them through if you get a chance. And then we'll have a bit of a chat about those. All right, WBC we've done. Let's just go to another one we've had an eye on for a while. We have traded it and been successful, but the longer term structure is really good. We all know this one is New Farm. LMNOP. Here we go. New Farm. There we go. Got it. NUF. So again, at a quick glance, it's pretty clear that that's grinding higher. It's going higher. This is a daily chart. We'll see if we can get a bit more info in there. So you can see the lows through here, right down at 380, say $4. We've got lows through here. We built another base through here. Let me just get that out of the way. So you can see that if we can just push that in. Okay, major lows down here around the $4 mark. Built a base just through that, what was it, 628, 630 zone. All right, and then we've just been working off with higher lows. So we're seeing that evidence of buyers happy to hold higher lows, stepping in, another higher low. And this is all within context. This is a sort of contraction we like to see. You can see the market pushing down, making lower lows into that major support. Third time it touched it, looking good. We're starting to get some higher lows step in. Always a good sign, especially when you see the market contracting. We like that, and we were trading it, if I can remember, somewhere around here. We pushed up, or maybe in this run up here, and then we've had that more significant move through. So we are liking this one for longer term play as well. You can see that price structure. If you get onto a weekly, if you get a chance, take a look at the weekly. It looks really nice. Major zone holding support, major higher low on the weekly basis. We've had another higher low, and so we call that an inside higher low build, and they're really nice when you see those lower highs push into it, and the lower highs, so the higher lows start holding. This is all getting confused. Higher, lower. We can see that play out, and that is what we're going to get a projection through the highs which we saw. Okay, bit of a pullback, built another high low. You've got some entries through here which are quite nice, and you can see that acceleration through. So now we're looking for a similar type of price action. We want to see if we can just build that through here. We want to see potentially that hold. If this can hold through here and we do get those higher lows, we might just get something like this, a pop out through here and start building, and then go accelerate up through these highs there. Okay, so that's what we're looking for on this one. It's probably still got a bit of action to do, but you can see that move down is quite controlled, quite nice. Had a sharp move up, quite controlled. It's coming off a reasonably oversold level, so that the probability of it moving through there is getting a bit lower. It's popped up to about 50. It could easily just push back down, but what we see is that price action, evidence of price action of buyers stepping in, higher lows holding, and then off we go, and that could potentially be quite a nice mover. All right, so we like the price structure on that one. Let's kick off the next one, EDE. I don't know if anyone's following this one. Eden Energy. EDE, here we go. Alright, so you can see, again, just having a quick glance, you can see the price structure on this. It looks good. So, I mean, not much action just in here, but you've got a low right down, through here. You see that, then it's popped up, it made a high, made a higher low. So you're getting that price action we like, higher lows, and then you can see that accelerated move up. So what did we speak about yesterday? You see an accelerated move, you expect some sort of contraction lower, because your anchor to the trend is way down. If we can just extend that out, it's way down here. Whoa, that didn't work. As you can probably tell, I haven't used this system for a while, so it's a great charting package. All right. So continuing that on, we've got that high low, so the anchor to that leg up, all right, is right down here about 4 cents. All right, so we've got quite a bit of room to move lower and still holding trend. We can see, but what we're starting to see is that higher lows are stepping in. We're stepping in here, stepping in again through here. Buyers stepping in a bit higher. We still got that major highs through 34 cents. We're starting, we're just seeing those. I do like what we're seeing. It's not really lower highs stepping in, it's more of just pushing up and then chopping, holding a higher low, pushing up and then pulling back again. So sooner or later, if we can get that type of price action in here, if we get something like this, a bit of contraction, we might get that pop through. So that just bringing in buyers, buyers are stepping in, sellers are starting to get squeezed out of the market and then pushing out. So eventually sellers are going to give up the ghost, whether it does roll over and break through there. But that price action is after conjunction with what we've seen in the past, higher lows holding, looking quite nice. So that's another one that's on the radar. Enough to EDE. It is a bit light on, but it does bring up the volume quite well when it moves. Oh, let me get that one. Let's have a quick look on here. It's only done 100,000 today, and that's done next to nothing. It's what's that? It's about $2 to $3 million worth a couple of days ago. So you can see when it was moving up, it was doing the volume. You're getting another couple of big moves here. The 14 million shares going through on that day. So when it moves, it can bring in some buyers and it can bring in the volume. So you've also got to look on the bid and the offer and what we're seeing. You can see quite a bit of volume on the offer there as well. All right, so it is definitely something to take note of there, Philip. Next on the list, let me just skip down. So the next one, what do we got? PPS. This is something we just alerted to today, and we've been trading this. I think we've had a go at it a few times in the past. The longer term story, but it looks good. So I'm just trying to remember alphabet. There's like 200 stocks just scrolling through here. Takes a bit of time, but bear with me. Any questions while we're there, guys? While I'm just putting up PPS Premium. Oh, it's taking longer than I thought. Should have had it pre-prepared. Here we go. So any questions on that? All right. Again, if you can look at this one, you can see just at a glance. Again, always at a glance, just try to see what's happening. If you have to go, if it's more unknown, flick back a chart. Take a look at the weekly. So I'll barely. If it looks like it's grinding lower, and you think, oh, that the price action itself could just be contracting lower, you don't know. Let's have a look at the weekly, and okay, the weekly's actually up, but it's just contracting lower on the daily. So then you can get a bigger picture view, and it just broadens your horizons, I guess, and then just gives you a bigger view of what could be happening. But just looking at that one there, that's a daily chart. The price action you should be able to see is, got the accelerated move higher, contraction, buyers are stepping in through here. It's pretty clear, and that's why we're liking it. Through here, buyers stepping in. We've taken out those highs just recently. That move up there, you can see the higher lows are starting to build off 26. Once we start taking out these levels too, you can see that type of price action. It's not really choppy, all within context of that high. A retest of that low, a bit of a wash out of that low, and then we started forming. So there's a nice little entry through here. I think we had a go at that one, and we might have got washed out in this move back. And then obviously push up into resistance to that 44 zone, a pullback, still holding higher lows, which is always nice. Bit of a washout here, rejection. So the next couple of days, nice little entry through here for that projected move up. So you can see Once they start holding higher lows and it gets closer, I think those people who may have been looking at through here, and this is the psychology behind it, people looking through here, I don't want to miss out looking at the structure. Go, this looks good. We've had that move up. Maybe we're going to see something like that again. If we can see on my chart, we're going to see something. That's what we want to see. That's what we're expecting. A lot of consolidation through here within that high. Market's looking good, building higher lows, and then you get that acceleration through the highs and a push up to 54. Now it is contracting back, like we said, that sharp move up near vertical, and even from here, you're getting that move up through there. Quite a strong move. Probably a very similar sort of length to this initial leg up. We may just see some contraction lower, but I think definitely this one is on the radar for another high low at 26. We could just potentially see a bit of price action, a bit of contraction lower, starting to see that washout again, high lows forming, and then a move. Okay, so that's ideally what we're going to be looking for, but that leg up, we may be seeing at the moment a bit of contraction of that, or it could just hold these highs at 44 and build, but always looking for that buyers to start stepping in. Okay, you want to see some evidence of buyers stepping in, sellers giving up, or just weak selling and strong buying. You can see that by the price action, the lows. If we can just drill in a bit better there, you can see that we potentially could be holding this level 44. If this is a minor high or low, we want to see it move up. If we get a move up through 48, we could even be looking at an entry and attacking that high at 54, and away you go. But again, we will be alerting to this one. It's on the radar, alerting to this one through TradeSetup. Yeah, but this one's on the radar. The PPS we've gone through, and at last, I think we'll take a look at it. And this one, we'll take a look at it more for the price action. Dav and I were discussing this, I think yesterday or the last couple of days. He was looking at it, and we started chatting about it. It might be hard to see on this one. Let's just see if we can check. It might not show up. But this is OCL. That's not what I want. OCL, Objective Corporation. The thing is, it's very light on, but I just wanted to bring it to your attention more for price structure than anything else. And as an example, honestly, it looks great. I really like this one. I don't know if anyone's ever seen it before, but the price structure there is just, you can see definitely an uptrend. So you should be able to look at this one, see that accelerated move up to a high, contract a bit, consolidate back to the MAs at least, coming through, and then starting to move through. You're getting these little setups through here. Risk is, easy to manage your risk. And again, like we said before, we're all about risk management. You have to be, I guess, in this game. Well, let's just, even this one, this is the type of price action that's nice. All right, and we're holding higher lows. You can see that we've contracted in, made a low, made a low, higher low built, attacking the highs here, and then building a potential another higher low, and then we could be on. All right, so that's something we do like it. We haven't alerted purely because it is quite light. It's a bit thin. It may pick up a bit of volume as it moves and as we get that accelerated move up. But again, that structurally fits our criteria ideally. It's a beautiful one. It's just the volume at the moment is probably something it doesn't quite fit our criteria. But that's as a great example of something to get an idea of price structure and what we're looking for. You get these things pop up all the time. You start seeing, it should be quite clear the market's moving up longer term. You get these, big spike higher. You've got to get some sort of consolidation, contraction, wash out a few late buyers. So anyone that's been buying in here, probably been washed out in this move, getting a bit sick of it. Then you get that projected move up again. Same type of thing. Anyone that's sort of been buying it up here, or anyone that bought it in here and held through this, maybe through here at this sort of zone, back to break even. They're just getting a bit antsy. It's taken some time. They're getting a bit sick of it, sick of holding, and get out. And that's why you get these sort of moves down, these sell-offs, and then they get bought back up, and the longer term trend holds. Take a look at BHP. Let's have a look at it then. S32, we actually just said BHP before. Alright, so that's sort of just on what we're looking at and what we wanted to talk about today. Shares that need to be on your radar. I think there's some that are on our radar for sure. And I think if you can go through and try to follow that type of price structure and just get yourself set up and just keep some on the zone. You want to be before the curve. and before the move. You want to get yourself ready and just start, rather than looking when we're getting, I don't know if I can do this, rather than watching, it's moved up, we contract, well, we contracted lower, rather than be on board when it gets through here, you want to be on board when you start, just keep something on the radar when you're looking for contraction. Then you start seeing evidence of it breaking. Okay, that's where you want to be ideally looking for stocks that are doing that. The longer term is up, the major trend is higher. You've got that longer term uptrend. Okay, we're getting contraction. Our anchor leg is still holding, it's contracting back down to the anchor, or your swing legs, whatever you want to call it. And then you want to start finding stocks and making a watch list, or putting together a radar list, whatever you want to call it, of price action that you can see here that's got the potential to move higher, and then just analyze it from there. You don't want to get on too late into things that start getting a bit stretched, because they could just make a double top and pull back. You don't know, but you want to give yourself every chance where you can actually assess your risk. You can get a nice little entry set up. Your risk is quite tight. You can assess that quite good, and it's going with the flow rather than going against it. The momentum's higher. The MAs are pointing high. You're starting to get higher lows build, and then you go. All right. So just get together a watch list of that, and that's what we do day in, day out, and put together. Sometimes they don't work out, and more often than not, there's a lot that don't work out. But your watch list can be a hell of a lot bigger than what you're actually trading. All right. Any questions on that, guys? Before we do get into this, have a quick look at BHP. So that's it for our little presentation. Now we'll get into, anyone's got any stocks that they want to have a quick look at, and see if we can just go through a few. Just whack them to chat there. We'll start off with the BHP. Paul, we'll look at some price action of BHP. It's always good too just to view things. If you look at it, even take I did it time and time again, and I'm sure Davin did too. Taking a screen snapshot of price action you like to see, and then because there's always going to be times when your head gets a bit fuzzy for whatever reason. You get a bit tired sometimes, and you stop seeing things. You start to try to work into the chart of what you're seeing, and it can really get to you sometimes. So it's good just to have a bit of a database of setups that you like. I always take setups. If I like something, if I look at it, take a screen snapshot, mark it up with a chart, draw on it, save it to files, and then every now and then it just helps sometimes to go through trades that have worked for you, go through anything. All right, just as a bit of a days to load. Oh, that's good. Oh, I'm on a weekly. Sorry. All right. So BHP. Yeah, quite a bit of good price action there, but the way I'd sort of view this, obviously you can take a, if you're looking from what we say hard right edge, so you're looking, well, not that's a hard right edge there, but you're looking from the left of the screen. If you saw that, and this is something where you'd want to, it's been doing this type of price action, okay? It's gone up, pulled back, inside levels, popped up to the highs, pulled back, higher lows, but it's just holding higher lows, which is really nice. Okay, we can all see that. If you're looking at it from there, what I would always do is just go back. Yeah, I'm starting to see a bit of that. The resources are starting to move, but obviously it's just what I said before, I guess, on the ASX 200. Just keeping it back in your mind. If that rolls over, we could get resources roll over. You don't know, but a lot of the times the bigger ones, like your banks and that, could get sold a bit, and resources come into favour because people ideally want to trade. But yeah, some are starting to move, and that's what you've got a lot of little resources. We'll do a presentation on that. We'll go into that next week. Some of the resources that are really starting to kick off, and they're starting to come in the zone. Come in that, like we said yesterday, the sweet spot. Getting the sweet spot, always like that. Like I've got a sweet tooth, so. All right. So yeah, that price action there, you can see that looks quite good from there, but it is more grinding movement. It's nothing really that's accelerating hard every time it gets a push up. So for me, if I just glance at that, first thing you look at, okay, it's definitely going up, but what's it in context to? All right, and it's in context to a massive move down. All right, so just remembering that is just always going back and getting, putting that whatever price structure you're seeing and you want to trade off in context to something else. And I don't know what's happening there, but it could be a start of a move, but that's really just had a big sell-off and then popped up. Actually, if I take that out, we might see a bit different story. If that's the high through there, okay, it's starting to show signs. That may just be contracting, and then we may get a longer term lower high build and then roll over again and retest these lows. We don't know, but that sort of price action you can see on the way down when it was getting sold hard, those move a bit of consolidation or contraction, bang, move down, pop up high, grinding a bit high, wash out a few minor ones, bang, again, same sort of thing. Took out the lows, not very severe, had a bit of a pullback. So as it's starting to get away on the longer term, getting away from the weekly MAs, it pulls back. It still keeps in context of that overall downtrend, and then you get this sort of big grind low, and this is just people just capitulating, down here, pretty much a vertical move. We're not seeing that just here. It's more controlled, bang, 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 all the way up. So we'll see how that plays out a bit later on. Let me get S32 because we've had a look at that and it hasn't got much on it, has it? Much data. Sorry, just laughing to myself, the people picking either end of the alphabet. I've got to scroll from A's to Z. I'm going to get RSI on my finger. S32. Where would that be? Here we go. Oh, no. S32, alright. We'll just drag that out. Yeah, but in the way of price structure, this zone through here, this is when it caught my attention. And we had a go at it through here. We did get washed out a bit, but I took my eye off the ball pretty much there. But you can see that price action is pushed up, consolidated through here, even near some minor highs. Through here, had a bit of a washout there, and that's not a strong level, and it's the same. It's pretty much the same as this level through here. Nothing too strong, but it just got up there, consolidated a bit. Not bad price action, holding higher lows, and then you can see you got that really high low in here, pop through, and off we go. Same sort of price action, so that looks good, and that's continuing on. But ideally, I think just remembering the kind of leg it's had up. Alright, I'm not saying it can't keep going, but these sorts of things, when you get, I would like to see that if you have a leg up, consolidate a bit. When you start seeing the higher lows building, even this, if you can see this through here, a low here, tried to go through, it couldn't. It's had to pull back a bit deeper, retest a deeper low. Still in context of these two, it's a higher low, washed out that low, then built another higher low, and then off we went. Alright, so this type of, Davin likes to call it a bit of a W pattern. That's nice. W you can get whoop, like that and then go, or ideally like that. Alright, so that's the type of price structure we're looking for, but there's a lot of things, anything can happen, but you just got to see, just get an idea of what's happening with the buyers and sellers, the interaction between the two. But again, and getting off track, what we're looking for is that consolidation through here, higher lows holding, and then that move. We could be getting a bit of a spike higher, raises a few alarms for me. Anything can happen, but I'd like to see, whoop, skip that, maybe we get a bit of contraction like this, but then I'd like to see a previous price action similar, holding higher lows, a bit of contraction in there after you get this move down, starts breaking, goes in consolidation or contraction, could just pop back up, and that there is a nice longer term move, ideally for a nice longer term move, or you could just get this sideways action through here between support and resistance. So yeah, it looks like I wouldn't jump into that just yet, but I don't mind that move up. I'd like to see some work done and then go. Yeah, no, exactly. No, that's right, Paul. Trying to get in early, but I mean this here, obviously early, that would have been nice, and we did have a look at that through there. You can see the MAs, and that's what we like to keep an eye out. If we're looking for a buy, ideally like to see the MAs up, because it just means that the move, you're on the right side of it, rather than And sometimes you can get the MAs obviously rolling over, they're heading down, but you know that's a weekly contraction, so we might get the MAs here, and then when they start crossing back up again, that's where you get in early, and then when you could be looking for a similar type of move from here, project that back up, it could really go on with it. Linus, that's right. Clement, sorry, you sent an email through there, didn't you? We'll do the last two, ORE, and Linus. You're more in the middle of the alphabet, that's nice. ORE. Yeah, we alerted to this too. That was, if you can see that, if we've got enough data in there. Like this. Had a big level through here, major support, that high low through here. I mean, that was, at that stage it was just rolling over, and then we started getting a move through here. You can see that through there is quite good. And again, they tend to kind of, I don't use these hard and fast, but I like just putting across the tops. You get 2 touches or 3 touches, quite nice. And when you see a high low build and it starts pushing up, you might just get a high low. I can draw that. Say a high low build, it pushes up into and then it pulls back, and then goes. So I don't buy as soon as I see a high low. I like to see that type of it's push through, pulls back, and then you know, okay, that's starting to break. It's really starting to crack that trend down. That was a really shallow move down to 220 after we broke up off 135. But like a lot of these times when they get a shallow move, that's just strength in buying. Sellers are not committed at all. The buyers are a lot more committed because it hasn't pulled back much at all. They're happy to step in a lot earlier, and then from there, beautiful accelerated move high, near vertical. So that's, risk reward. If you just bought and I push through that, say 237, you can define your risk quite easily just below here, 213. Figure out how much you want to risk on the trade, and then off we go. That's at least, what's that little bit there? It's probably 4-5 to 1. In essence, before you started getting a crack of those, that failing up here, took out a low, had a lower high just in here, and then you could have just exited, taken a partial, half off, and then just holding the half for longer term. But this one here, obviously that's a weekly. Let's click over to the daily. Looks good. Ooh. Let me just clean that up. Alright. Yeah, so we've got that leg up there. If we just, a good resistance, that's not what I wanted. F2. Good resistance zone through. Alright, and touch it 1, 2, 3, 4. You started to get this move. It washed out. So this is sort of a key level through here at the moment. You had that push up, a minor high low build, had another touch. So generally they wash out the lows too. But then when you see that it doesn't take out a key level, which it didn't through that 420, it made sort of just fell a bit shy of that. 390. No, no, not at the moment. I'll chat about that in just a second. This is one I'm probably kicking myself about a bit. Yeah, so we've got that move here. We've got lows holding up. It's had another crack, just can't get through. So really, when you start looking at that, touches on it can't get through the resistance. It's made a little higher low through here. You could set up your exit just to get an idea of when to exit. Put a line through here, touching the 2 lows. If it breaks through, you're probably in for a few problems. And we got that. Then we got that push through that a key level through at 420, and then you'd start seeing anyone boarded in here on that accelerated move higher is going to want to book some profits because they don't know if this is just going to be the highs forever. You don't know, and then you start getting that contraction. They want to probably book something, at least take a partial or just get out and then reassess it, and essentially look to get back in. Now, to answer your question, we were looking at it through there. We saw that push. Okay, so this is all together with our plan of attack. If you can see that, we've got an accelerated move up. We know we want to see some sort of contraction, which we saw. Contraction lower. We start breaking out of that contraction. We build that higher low. Everything's working to plan. Problem for me, I found was just I was looking for at that time was more. It was a couple of days ago. I think it was through here. I was looking more to work off there, contract a bit more, hold some high lows and then go. Just because I'd like to squeeze that risk in a bit more. Yeah, it's still above yesterday. This is the days. Where is it for? We'll just say 390. Yeah, so it's just sort of retesting that breakout zone. It could easily push up, come back in within context of this high low, and then go. And the thing working, what I was also looking at, you can see it's had a good kick higher through that, breaking out, built the high low, just gone bang again. The MAs, I think, can drag on it a bit too. All right, so this is, obviously going through my mind of what I'm looking for. That there, it's not. I can't see it being really. It's a bit different perspective to this. You can see that move through. It's consolidated, but the MAs were pointing higher. So you're looking for that accelerated move in as the late buyers want to jump in. They might be missing out. You don't want to miss out, obviously, and that gets that buyers just stepping in. There's no sellers in there. You start getting extended. Sellers start profit taking. Starts causing a bit of a top rolling over. It's the phases that Davin was speaking about probably about a couple of weeks ago. If you haven't viewed that, just jump on that. An old, I think it's from the 6th of this month, 6th of the 11th, 5th, 6th is probably Saturday. Yeah, it was the 5th. So have a look at that, at the phases of the markets that he described really well. A topping phase, a bit of a correction, longer term trends up. We're getting those high lows build, but that's to me is just against the MAs. I want to see a bit more work done. All right, so I'd like to see a bit more contraction in price. MA start crossing, and then it could go. Yeah, exactly. That's sort of one of those events where you could look at it on a chart. The election day, Emery just pointed out they started making things look rubbish. It sort of messes with the indicators, and this is why price action can be best. I think is best anyway. Price action first and foremost, rather than your MAs, stochastics, whatever. I mean, these are the only ones I use. I mean, I've tried a few different things, but they're all lagging. When you start looking at price action, and remember, price action is psychology. All right, and you're working off people's psychologies, the interaction between buyers and sellers, who's winning the fight, and who's gonna deliver the knockout punch. Sellers in here, the knockout punch, bang. Buyers are winning. It's popped up. I think when if Davin's listening, the little joke we had, I think when he was showing me a few different things, he got me put some gloves on, gave me a bit of a boxing lesson, and said trading's like this. It's all about technique. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked again, but yeah, the election day really caused a bit of havoc. Linus, sorry Clement, I didn't look at that, did I? We'll take a look at that one. Oh, I see. This is something I think we've alerted before. I don't think we've been in previously, but did have a spike up, and we just sort of got caught in the contraction. We didn't jump in, but it just didn't play out to what we expected. Why does that look horrible? Doesn't really look really nice on that chart. Let me just get up the charts on Spark. And what I can do is get a bit more data. Right, obviously just have a quick look at the weekly. Drilling back, we had that big push up. That's when it was all rosy, 2011, and bang, we've come right back down, taking out the lows. Right down, right down in a major support zone. So, that's on a weekly anyway. And then price action on a daily. I'll get my other tool up. Yeah, just quickly recap Linus. Alright, here we go. You can all see that. So obviously, at a glance, moving down. All right, you've probably got a bit of a level through here, even if that's maybe through there. A bit of a level through here, you know, as it's got a bit of pricing accelerated up, it's coming back, contracting back low. It's tested that 5 cent mark. It's trying again, but it's still, the thing is, it's still holding lower highs. The thing is, on a really short term, I'm starting to see at hard right edge of the chart, we're seeing that. So it could break out of this contraction, longer term contraction. We may see, if we can get that, a bit of a push up. What we want to see is a bit of consolidation and then go and potentially look for an entry as you're holding higher lows again. All right, but yeah. No, I agree with you, Linus. This is Linus. I agree with you, Linus Chan, Clement. What we're looking at, and what you, I am finding with you a bit. You're looking at it nicely, and I'd like to see you're looking at it at the right times, which is good. And I think this one, if you can put this on your radar and just keep an eye on it, we don't know what's going to happen, but we have seen a strong move up. Okay, like I said, any vertical move, you're going to get some sort of consolidation. We don't know what the news flow is as well. But then when you start seeing evidence of buyers stepping in, they're happy to price, maybe 5, they're happy to buy in here. This is more opportunistic, a move down, a pop up, a move through there. I think we were looking for that to hold a move up through sort of this, out of this contraction for a push back up, but it never played out, never eventuated actually. MA's sort of contracting in, longer term contraction, that level's holding, so it still may have a bit of work to do, but ideally you're looking at the right spot, something to chuck on the, put on your radar or on your list, and just keep an eye on that. But yeah, once we start getting through that, like this type of price action, it could be starting to show signs of kicking off. Anyway, I think we'll have to call it quits there. I hope we all enjoyed that, guys. Just under the hour there. So what we'll try to do is initially at the start we'll have a topic we'll cover. Obviously go a bit of an overview of the market. Pick a topic, something we can, a bit of interest, get through that, and then we'll start looking at some charts. So just for anyone that's happy to stay tuned and just jump in there, is put up some charts, put up some stocks, and we'll have a chat about them. But if there's something, if you can't watch for the day, just send it through. Like Paul sent through a few times. Just send it through to email, and then if you can't watch it, you can always watch it on the replay. If we can go through it. Yeah, thanks for joining in. And again, if once we get our final website all linked in with the social media links up here, if you can just follow us on social media and be kind enough just to like us occasionally if you like something. If you, we'll put up the streams as well. Join in, and then it just helps us get out there a bit more, spread the word a bit. So especially if you don't like what we're doing, yeah, sorry. But if you do and you're happy to support, that would be fantastic. Anyway, guys, thanks very much. It'll be a Saturday tomorrow. Have a great weekend, and stay tuned for Monday. We'll pop something up later on, hopefully later on today, even earlier hours on Monday, of just the next stream and what the topic. But yeah, fantastic, guys. Thanks very much. Enjoy yourself.